bit like a bit slow also, raining. Okay, we are live.
Thank you. I'll go out and share. Thanks.
Hello. Sorry, we are late. Just give us another couple of minutes. Hi, everyone. Sorry, we are
Hello,
late.
everyone. Yes,
It's
slightly late.
yeah, it's actually my fault. My fault because I just finished my my business hour. Okay, so welcome everybody. Hello, Carol. Hello, Cheryl. Hello, David. Hi, David.
David,
Uh,
David, we miss you.
so, Prisca, your face is a bit black, you know. You want to sit a
Right?
bit closer.
Okay, sorry, I changed the light setting
Yeah,
already. Yeah,
right. Okay.
can see me
So,
now better. Good.
so
Do
before
I look
we commence this session, right? I would like to thank every one of you for following us throughout this the first these few episodes, the 8 episodes that we season one that we were doing since the MCO until today. So would like to thank for your support. Okay, so
Yes,
today is actually our
yes. We start our first
our
episode.
right. So today is our last episode for season one. So we are still pondering on when we're going to have our our second season. Okay, we're also thinking of what other topics. Maybe maybe we will have some live show live show I mean cooking show or maybe not the live show that you that you all see, that you all think so okay, so today we are going to talk a little bit about ourselves. Okay, since we have a few, what do you call that, special invited guests for the last few episodes. So today is only me and Prisca. So we're going to talk a little bit about ourselves. Okay, so why not we do it for ladies first? Prisca, maybe you want to start off like uh, to like introduce yourself formally, how you ended up, you know, doing this what do you call that, cooking instructor profession. So maybe Prisca, you want to start first? Prisca? Look like Prisca is Prisca, are you there? Prisca? No, I think she's suddenly offline. Okay, anyway, while waiting, okay, why not
Hi
we
there.
Prisca, you're back.
Yes. Yeah, the line is suddenly gone. Sorry.
Yeah. Just now, what I was saying to the audience is that
I
maybe you would like to start off first. Ladies first. You can formally introduce yourself.
want me
You
first. I
know,
want you first because you have.
you want me first? Okay lah, chincai lah. Anything?
I was. You have so many good food and good picture there. And for so
Okay.
many people that know Aiden, that he has been doing Nyonya restaurant, Nyonya cuisine business for the past 5 years, right?
Yeah, past 5 years. Yes,
For
correct.
the past so many years, and then he has accumulated a lot of effort in terms of cooking, and then until today, until just now, he's still cooking every good dishes by himself with the mother as well. So they have been doing a lot of details work, and the food is still maintaining a very satisfying quality as far as I have eaten so many times, and even
Thank
tapao back to
you.
KL. For your information, I'm staying in KL. Tapao back from Penang to KL, and it's still good. So I feel that I'll give priority to Aiden to speak of it, because no matter how, I am just recently started to promote the Nyonya cuisine. Just started from like 2017. Yeah. So Aiden is way before me. So I would like Aiden to start first.
Actually, we started more or less the same time. We are more or less the same time. Yeah. Yeah, welcome, Auntie Judy. Yeah. So, okay. As most of you know, my name is
Aiden?
Aiden. Yeah. So, I actually my profession just my profession did not started off. I did not start off with being a restaurant or a chef. Doing this in Peranakan food. Okay, I graduated in 1997 in a business degree. Okay, then from then on I started to work in a sales department in one of the manufacturing firm. Okay. Well, I would say it is a very tough job for me during that time because it was a recession in 1997, 1998. Okay, so well, so from then on, there's no turning back already. So after working in a manufacturing firm, it's a local manufacturing firm. Then I started continue my career until in a multinational company, in an American company. Okay, that time I was a supply chain operations specialist. So doing more on costing and cost management. So well, life in a factory. I think if some of you who used to work in a manufacturing before, you all should know what how the life is. Okay, but the lucky thing is that I tend to have the opportunity to travel to a few countries, and even I stay in a few countries before. Okay, I think the longest that I have stayed in is in Hong Kong, China, and a short period in the United States. So well, while doing all this, what do you call that? The manufacturing work, right? It's kind of it is kind of interesting, okay. But I also managed to look through and walk through the life and culture in different countries. Well, especially in China. I mean, of course, in the United States, um, things are pretty bland. I would say. I would say things are pretty bland. Um, um, in the States itself, even the food, I mean, the culture itself, they are also multicultural country. United States is actually a multicultural country. Okay, the cooking, the lifestyle, everything are mixed. They're pretty nice though. But if you compare to Asia, I would say Asia have the authenticness there. Okay, especially in China, in Hong Kong, you see different walks of life, different walks of culture, different types of food. Okay, and how they blend the food, like a Cantonese food, they blend with the Hunanese food, you know. So the things that they use, the spices that they use are pretty amazing. I would say pretty amazing. Um, if you were to go to places like Xi'an, um, it is you can feel that you can see that it's a mix of Mediterranean. They do a lot of barbecuing,烧烤, barbecuing lamb, and there are a lot of Muslims there as well. Okay, in Shanghai, different walks of life, different walks of culture. They have people from all over the place, all over the world, even all over the provinces of China. So it's pretty interesting. Okay, so that is how I how to say tend to like the the food there. I mean, of course, it's not my favorite though, but not all are my favorite, but there are some pretty much. Santong, the food in Santong is very very good. Okay, they have you need this. They actually braise the, what do you call that, the bones, the bones. Oh, I tell you, it's very very good. It is very very good. Okay, so how do I start off like cooking? Okay, it started off when I was in a university. All right. You believe it or not, my during my university life, okay, I don't even know how to cook. Believe it or not, I don't really know how to cook. Even when I was studying in Australia, okay, I remember my mom bought me a small rice cooker. Okay, a rice cooker. Okay, it's so easy to cook rice, but I can cook the rice until chao hui da. You can imagine that. I don't whether I put into little water or whatever. I don't even know how to use a microwave. I can tell you that I was a pampered child. Okay, at home when I was a student, when I was still studying, I don't do any single thing at home. I don't do house chores. I don't cook. You know, yeah, I just know how to eat, sleep, and study. That's it. So I learned from there. I learned from there. I put in I remember there was once I put in an egg into a microwave and it exploded. It exploded. Imagine how stupid I was. It exploded and the door actually opened up. There are smokes coming out. So from there onwards, I started to figure out how do I cook. And then I started off like something simple, slowly, from month to month, day to days, month to months. Started to miss home food, the home country food, laksa, all these things. So slowly I learned from there. So from there I developed interest in cooking. Okay, yeah. So I started to cook. I mean, I'm not sure whether my fellow classmate in this particular um, in my audiences, very I cooked for them before. It was a very fun thing to do. So yeah. Then when I was and after I came out of the work, basically, my dream is to actually have a small cafe, maybe a small eateries, something that I like. Manufacturing is actually not 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 my cup of tea actually. But growing up, born and bred and growing up in Penang, I think manufacturing is the core, okay, in most people's life. So that's why I myself goes into this manufacturing, and just in a blink of eye, it was about 20 over years in a factory. Okay. So after 20 over years, then Um, I came out already. I worked in a different field again. Okay, but just for less than 6 months. Then after that, I was thinking, well, since I love to cook, why not I try something? So that's why how Nona Willow is being founded. Willow is actually my mom's name in Chinese. Okay, she's a Nonya, so that's why I call it as Nonya Willow. I asked her to teach me, some of the recipe because I know that Peranakan food, especially the Nonya food in Penang. I mean, not in Penang, in every region, the spices they use, the herbs that they use, they are actually very particular. Okay, in fact, not I would say that the way how they cut it is also very particular. So later on, I will share with you all something, on how I learn, which are the things that need very fine cutting and how do you cut those stuff, you know. So that is how I evolved from a manufacturing life into a restaurant life. So of course, there are a lot of ups and downs, okay, in between. I would say for the last 5 years, we started off as a private kitchen. I believe Auntie Judy been to my private kitchen before. Okay, we started off for about 6 to 9 months only. Then we got complained by one of the neighbor, okay, stating that it's not this is not the right place to do eateries, um, so there are authorities that came over to our place. Of course, the authority didn't give me any fine, they didn't summon me or anything. Okay, but they actually advised me. Actually, this lady is very nice. She advised me why not I go and open because being in a private kitchen industry, okay, is a very gray area. Okay, so she cannot do anything. Also, she cannot do anything. The most she can give me a summon. That's it. But she did not, and then she advised me. So I did ponder about it for 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 quite a few months. Then after that, I decided to open up this restaurant by the name of Nonya Below. So that's how it is today. It's about I have been in that place, Nonya Below in Arinaka, Banlapas. It is already been about 4.5 years already. Okay, so I would say thank you for all my regular customer support. Okay, customers who love my food. So it's a very tough decision, I would say, very very tough decision. But well, everything happens for a reason. Okay, so I think if there's no complaint, I will still be in a private kitchen. Okay, somehow or other there are still I would say opportunities hit. So once it knocks on my door, then I just do it. Yeah. Prisca, what happened to you? Yeah, on and off.
I'm so sorry. My line here is very bad because of raining. We are getting very heavy rain right now. Not very heavy, like getting heavier and heavier. So I have to change place so that the line receiving is better.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Carol,
sorry about that. Yeah.
Carol was working with me. Um, yeah, about 11 years ago. Yeah, she was working with me. Okay, so well, yes, you can still remember Carol. So I more or less like I summarize my story, okay, of how I evolved from a manufacturing to a restaurant. So well, I told them there's a lot of ups and downs, yeah, in doing this, yeah. So if you look at these slides, sorry, I don't know why I cannot put it in a bigger format. I hope y'all can see. You see this pretty lady here, you know. We changed our photo, and of course me. Okay. Um, yeah. Of course the motive or my vision or my mission, I always feel that there's nothing too late, never too late. If let's say we live our dreams and we walk our passions, I believe there are a lot of people in this world always think, oh, well, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, I want to do that. But at the end of the day, you know, uh, and end of the day, people just don't do it and they regret it. So to me, I would say I don't want to regret it. I just do it lah. Then die. If let's say I cannot, I cannot deal with it, or I'm not successful in handling this restaurant thing, then worst come to worst, then I go back to work lah. I'm not that old anyway. Yeah, haven't reached for 50 yet. Soon, but haven't. So I believe I will still have opportunity if let's say things does not work out. Like during this MCO, I would say for the 1.5 hours, right? Sorry, 1.5 years of MCO, it really, really, really hits me. It hits me terribly, I'm lucky that in a way that I have supporters that always come and support me. They tapao or they do delivery, you know. Being a restaurant actually, it's not as simple as I used to think, you know. Um, I always think that never mind lah, you can hire people, then they can help you to do a lot of things. But in actual fact, it's not, you know, you cannot hurry the staff actually. I won't say that I don't trust them. Okay, we do put in a certain percentage of trust, but a lot of things you still need to hands on, you know, in terms of the quality, in terms of you know, uh, satisfaction, customer satisfaction, you know. Of course, in a restaurant, I'm actually an OCD, I like things to be clean. So sometimes expectation is a little bit high, I would say. Yeah. So for those who have been to my restaurant, I don't know whether you notice or not. Uh, I'm very particular in my kitchen. I'm very particular in my toilet. Okay, um, so that's why I would say I'm OCD lah. But I'm actually not the worst. My mom is the worst. My mom is the real OCD. Yeah. So you just imagine two OCD working in the kitchen. We do fight. Yeah, but still my mom anyway. Okay. Any questions? Sokwan, you said off the sharing and reshare again. Okay. All right, I will try to do it. Somehow or other, it don't know what happened.
Can your slideshow become the full screen?
Cannot, no, that's why, no. Cannot, I still
Ayo,
cannot.
so many food we want to see, leh.
Maybe I a bit kelam kabut already because I was late just now.
So I think go through one by one also can.
Yeah. Sharon, is it Milo is Liu Qi in Hokkien is your mom's name? Yes, yes, yes. My mom's the her third name. I mean that we said her first name lah is Liu. Is Liu. So it's definitely Willow. Okay, in the Chinese character is also Willow. Okay, so I named the restaurant on behalf of her is because all the recipe are from her. Okay. and I want her to have the honor in it. Yeah. Okay. So for those of you who don't know where my restaurant is, this is my restaurant, established in 2017. Okay, founded by me, and definitely it's a Penang Peranakan lah. Okay, Penang Nyonya food lah. We say most of the time. So this is the outlook of my restaurant. Okay, I think in that place Arena Curve. Okay, I think this is the only place that has all this Nyonya thing lah. But these are all not real. These are all stickers because I cannot afford it. Hopefully one day I can afford that. I can have a real door, real window, real tiles. Yeah, hopefully one day. Yeah. This is the inside of my restaurant. Okay, so I actually renovated it before. Renovated it before that. It was much simpler. Okay. Now at least you can see some motifs of Nyonya house. Okay. Nothing. I would say nothing elaborate lah. It's just very simple. Okay. So this is one of the two of the photos that I took after the renovation. Okay. All right. So that is my story. Any questions? And you all want to know me more? Can ask me. Always welcome.
Aiden, your slavery food, your food,
Yeah.
the picture that make people 老吹挪 one, including me.
No, I want people to know me first. That's the question about.
You know you are the persons behind the scene that make a lot of things happen.
I think for the past few years, a lot of contribution was from my mom also. Okay, I always got scolded by her. Always got scolded by her. This one you cannot do. This one you cannot do. Why you do this? Why you do that? You do like that. People eat already. People will can't see. People will choke to death. So a lot of hoo-ha lah, I would say. Okay, so if let's say you all don't have question for me about myself, okay. This is some of the things that I would like to tell you all that Nyonya food. Okay, look at all these things. The ginger, the bunga kantan, shallot, the lemongrass, and you look at in the middle one. Okay, this is actually a mixture of all the herbs, daun kadok lah, daun sekuntuk lah, pudina, daun kelasik, daun cekok. All these are all the main ingredients for a few of the dishes. Of course, my ever famous nasi ulam. Okay, nasi ulam consists of all these ingredients. Okay, but if you have all these ingredients, you also need to know how to chop it, know how to cut it. We're cutting it. Yes, Sokun, Alicia. Yes, I don't think you have been to my place. Yeah. So all these things, right? If you just do, I don't know how other people cut. Okay, I witnessed a few of my staffs, my ex-staff, my former staffs. How they cut it is really heartbreaking. When you cut it, you cut all these spices and all these herbs. It has to be sliced, not cut, not chopped. You cannot, you will not hear a loud noise of tok, 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 tok. You will not hear that. It's sliced, because the way how you slice it is also one way. If you do it like chopping, all the juice, everything will come out. It is not going to taste good anymore. You want to maintain the juice, the whatever things inside the ingredient. Like for example, if you do chop, like, what do you call that? Turmeric. Turmeric looks simple, right? You slice it into very thin slice. Then after that, you slice it into shred it. You slice it into a shredded form. Okay. It's not so easy. You don't want the turmeric juice to come out. Of course it will come out a little bit, but you cannot come out like so much that until you lose the flavor in it, the fragrance in it. Same thing goes to for example, shallot. Shallot is so very simple. If you chop it now, it become very hanjaw already, hanjaw. So it become very, you know like blended like that, very juicy. So it's not nice. So if you to slice it properly, yeah, the juice is still in there. So when you eat the nasi ulam, you can taste it. Okay. Of course, the most difficult part to cut one is actually what do you call that, lemongrass, because it's hard. It's not so easy. Your knife have to be very sharp. Okay, look at the long down gado, all those herbs, right? The way you want to wrap it, you also have to wrap it properly. You cannot just simply wrap and then after that you cut. Not nice. You have to wrap it very tightly, and then you need to slice it. You have to slice it like until I won't be so 夸张 lah, huh? I won't be so it's like very fine hairline lah, I would say. But because when you do this, right, for nasi ulam, it has to be very, very fine. If let's say you do perut ikan, it don't have to be very fine, because when it's too fine, you put inside to boil it, the texture will break, okay, and it will become very soggy. It's not nice anymore. So for nasi ulam and for perut ikan, the way of cutting is also different. Okay, one is more finer. The other one is not so fine. Okay, so this is the outcome of this nasi ulam. Yeah, nasi ulam. You know why I have this combination or not? I mean, of course, I have a la carte nasi ulam, but I also have set nasi ulam. You know, when we are in a restaurant, we are doing the restaurant business, we tend to taste every single food. So I always blend it to see, okay, this one goes nice. I mean, this nasi ulam goes with which side dishes are the best. Of course, with ikan bilis is the best. Ikan bilis, serunding, sambal heavy, serunding, udang kering, acak awak. That's very good. Okay. I mean, if you do eat with sambal udang petai sambal petai, not so good I would say. It won't bring out the flavors. Yeah. So I'm not sure, Prisca, have you makan my nasi ulam before?
Yes, yes. I've tasted your nasi ulam before. It's different from mine a little, but yours is also good.
Yeah, very different, because nasi ulam in different region, I believe they have their own way. I would say not only region, even in the same house, in a different household, they have a different way of doing it. Okay, especially for us, right? For us in a restaurant, as a restaurant, we serve the community, so a lot of things we need to hit the balance, okay, to suit the taste of the community. I mean, of course, I won't say 100%, but at least 60 to 70% of the community. So sometimes it will taste a little bit different, from your home cooking. Okay, but I would say that it still tastes good. Still tastes good. I love nasi ulam. I always makan nasi ulam. Yeah. So this is the perut ikan that I mentioned earlier on. Okay, I believe I'm not sure whether who have watched this Malaysian flavor by our local producer Jason Yeo. I was featured in that episode. Okay, in that episode itself, I made a few things. The gulai tumis, perut ikan, acak awak, what else? Nasi ulam also. Yeah, these are a few things that I that was features in a TV. It has been already 2 years. Since I think my one is after Prisca, right?
Yes. Yours is 2019. Mine is 2018.
Yeah. Yours is my one is after yours. So
My one under the Chinese New Year series, the home cooked food of the Chinese New Year.
Yeah.
Mm.
But it's a very tough job, I mean, for them to film just about half an hour of show I mean, airtime, half an hour
Yeah,
airtime. We have to
but
prepare
we
about
shoot for
2 days,
2 days. I also
days.
2 days.
I have to wake up as early as 5 o'clock in the morning, to get myself prepped. They'll follow me to the market. Oh, I tell you, it's something very interesting though, but very hectic because that was my first time. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
won't be able to show everything in my menu, but I will show some of it lah. Okay. Another thing that needs to be finely shredded or cut is actually bangkwang cha or juhu cha. Okay. Nyonya is very particular when it comes to the cutting. you know uh, I don't know why they do things so finely. Until today I still do not know why. Is it because of their from the ancestors, or I don't know, I really do not know. But most of the things are really finely cut, finely shredded. Like of course Cha in my restaurant, I cannot tell you that I do it, I cut it myself. Okay, we don't cut it. We actually have a shredder to shred it. Okay, but the shred itself has to be carefully chosen as well. Some of the shredder are very coarse, very coarse. Then it's not nice. And the way how you shred it also, you need to have the kung fu. You know, um,
Mm.
I explored that a few times. First few times it was really hard for me. You know, it never comes up to our expectation because too cost. And what do you call that? The carbohydrate in it is actually, it came out. After you shred it for too hard. So after a few try, I noticed that when you shred the what do you call that, the bangkwang or the sengkwang, you has to be very 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 like you need like you need to have something like a what like a kung fu like that. You have to do it not fast, but it has to be very not too hard, not too hard. You cannot put 100% of the energy onto the shredder and shred it. Then it won't be nice. Of course, apart from the sengkwang, there are other things. There are other things that we put in. Like the cabbages. This one all we cut. We don't shred. This one we all cut, but we have to cut it finely as well, including the mushrooms. Yeah. Of course, in Juhucha, is definitely non-pork free. That one. But of course, if you want to do it in a different way, okay, you can add in chicken floss. I mean chicken meat okay, shredded chicken meat. Okay, so it depends on how you do it depends on your liking. Okay, so I would say that it is a must to put pork. Okay, but you can choose to put, but of course beef and mutton I wouldn't recommend because of the the taste of the mutton and the meat is a bit too strong. Okay, so it will cover up all those especially the sotong, the sotongs, the shredded sotongs smell. Yeah, so it's not so good. Yeah. Before I continue, any questions that you all want to ask me, our lovely audience? Any question you want to ask me? Or Prisca, you got anything you want to add on?
Yeah, looking at your jihucha, I get to know that how fine is your jihucha, and then look back on my own jihucha. The first time I do it, it's so thick. The way I cut the sengkwang is as thick as the chukichiam. The lidi, like something like the satay lidi, like that. Yeah, I get to know. Wow, that's a different. But I get to understand why, because I remember my old grandmother told me actually bangkwang cha is for the old and for the young people to eat. So it shouldn't be too too cholo, because too cholo, it become crunchy, and then when you cook it, it won't be soft. So the old one cannot eat, because those old one no gigi already. They cannot like bite so much, especially got jihu. The jihu very jun ma, so it's a
mm,
little bit hard for them to eat. So that's why they
mm,
want the consistency of the jihu, which is the dry squid, and then the yam bean, which is the sengkuang, plus
yeah,
the mushroom. All these have to be in the same consistency of the same kind of cutting. So
yeah.
that when you cook it, they will have almost the same texture, like same kind of same softness lah. You know, yeah,
Mm. Yeah, of course you get scolded if let's say you cut too thick, like you know, especially in a Nyonya family, yeah, you will get scolded one, But
yeah,
well, that's different house again. I would want to stress that different household they cut it differently. I also cannot condemn or comment much about other household how they do it. Okay, but
yeah,
at least for my own household, I know that a requirement is to cut it finely, but not too fine until that it dissolve when you cook.
yeah.
But it has to be fine. Yeah, you know. So,
And then
but
for
for
this
us in a yeah, sorry.
sorry, for this bangkwang cha also, different house will have different household of Peranakan will have different recipe. Some even put in the tau
Hmm.
the bean
Yes.
paste, a little bit of
Yeah.
bean paste,
Mm.
and some don't
Yeah.
at
So
all.
yeah. So it looks a bit darker, lor, in a way.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. For us, we cook it in a very huge. We cook it in two huge wok. So you just
Wow.
imagine, Now I got master now.
Just by cha bangkwang only.
Yeah. Yeah. When I remember, the hard days. When I started off as a restaurant. I actually lose weight. I lose so much weight. I lose for roughly about 20 over kilos. 20 over kilos, just imagine that. It's not because of Jucha lah. I mean of all things, because of the stress, because of the, you know, and furthermore, we are so particular, you see. So I lose so much weight until I have to go to the hospital and check whether I got cancer or not. Mm. All right. Yes, Cheryl, you're right. Some add vinegar. Yeah, but you add vinegar already. People said when you add vinegar, there is a reason for some of the Nyonya food that you have vinegar or asam Java. You know why or not? Anyone can answer this question or not?
I also don't know. To enhance taste.
Um, I won't say to enhance taste because vinegar and asam they are sourish one, mah. Correct or not?
Mm,
You know, yeah. And I ask you one thing: sourish stuff can go chao seng or not?
easier to go chao seng lor.
No. When you put
No
vinegar, that means you what do you call that? You pickle it already. So it is not so easy to chao sui. It's not so
Oh,
easy. You look at achar awak. Achar awak is put
yes,
you are using vinegar one, But of course I know there
yes.
are achar awak. Some people cook achar awak put asam one, asam jawa. But the taste
Mm,
is different, very different.
yes,
Okay, yeah. So when you put vinegar, it become pickle. So it won't get chao sui so easily, though. It won't get stale so easily. Yeah, but for me, I don't prefer it that way. I still prefer it. The cuttlefish. When you fried it, I tell you the fragrance is so nice. The aroma come out. My goodness, you know.
yes.
I mean, I
Mm.
fried it almost every day, so I know. Yeah. Yeah, Cheryl said that I'm in Penang. My jiucha do not have tau or vinegar. Is this normally how Penang? No, for Penang, for my house, my own household, how I was taught, we don't put tau or vinegar. My one is just like pure. We don't put anything. I think Prisca mentioned one. It could be I don't know where, Malacca or Singapore or I don't know where.
No, it's also from Penang. It's also from Penang. It is more on the influence of the Teochew. Then they will put a little bit of Tao. just to make the taste a little bit different.
Hmm.
I had that before.
Hmm. But the taste, how about the taste? Is it the same?
Not the same,
It's
not the
different, maybe
same.
not the same, right?
It
Hmm.
has the
Yeah.
taste of like tao jiao lor. The like I
Yeah.
said lor, it's a little bit like the liquid amino or acid amino.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, it has more on that taste rather than the
Hmm.
one we had. Like for my house one, when I cook the jihucha, I do put in the pickle garlic.
Hmm. Yeah.
Uh,
Right. So, okay. Let me move on pretty fast because we still have another, let me see, another 15 minutes. I need Prisca to talk also. I don't want to talk so much already. Okay. We have all types of perabu also for Peranakan, perabu bihun, kerabu timun, kerabu kacang botol. All these kerabu are very appetizing one, you know. But of course, some of it has to be cut very, very, very thin. You have to cut it finely as well, but not as fine as the daun kadok lah, but it has to be fine as well. Auntie Judy, you said, must we squeeze out the bangkuang juice for the jihucha? No, we don't squeeze out because we need the juice. Okay. But when you do lobak, you need to squeeze the bangkuang juice out, or else your lobak will not tak jadi, tak boleh jadi. Lobak, your whatever things you put in, shallot lah, or big onion, or leek, you know, you have to squeeze out the juice. No choice, that one. Yeah. So these are some of the kerabu I put in. Okay. In my restaurant, I serve this kerabu tibun, kerabu bihun, kerabu chicken, kerabu ayam. So these are really nice. And also, you know, Nonya, there are a lot of rempah. I see all types of rempah induced dishes like acar awak, kapitan curry. You know, even the paste that you use to fry kacang botol lah, pucuk ubi lah, kangkung lah, whatever, is also, you know, a lot of tumis work you need to do. You need to do a lot of tumis work. Okay, you see, the gulai tumis, the sambal udang paste. The only thing that you don't have to tumis one is asam pedas, asam pelai. Asam pelai, Prisca, you had it before, okay, but it has to be boiled. It has to be boiled for at least 1 hour. But once you boil it, you cannot eat it immediately. You have to leave it for a few hours, up to maybe 1 or 2 days. You know, then the flavors will only come out. You tasted before, right? You tapau balik that day, and then you eat. 2 days later, you makan again. Wow, the taste so different, huh?
yeah, it's even better after you leave it for 2 days.
Yes, yes. So, Nonya people, they like to eat overnight food. But actually, not only Nonya food lah. Okay, a lot of food, a lot of culture in China, in the Mediterranean. I was in Turkey before. Some of the food, right? You know, the meat that they put it they stack it up in a like a pagoda, and then they cut it by the side one. The Mediterranean food. I tell you, the meat, I don't know left for how many days already. Yeah. But when I was there, I love it lah. But the only thing I cannot take is the mutton and the beef lah, because the bow is so strong. The bow is so strong. Cannot tahan. Pingsan. Okay. Okay, now let's talk about it. Then we also talk about all this nonya kueh. Okay, this angku kueh is baked by me and my mom lah. We just made it the other day. Yeah. So some of the nonya dessert. Okay. Actually, angku is my favorite. This one is sweet one. Okay. Inside got wait asam pelai is the same as laksa curry. Slightly different, Auntie Judy, slightly different. Asam pelai you need to boil. Okay. Laksa curry, basically they put in a little bit of santan already. Yeah. So for this angku, you know, Peranakan they have this angku, they have this cheku. Cheku is with the coconut one. They have choku, also very nice. That one I think with the yam, the yam leaf stem. Yeah, that one is also very nice. Okay. They also, that one is more empty lah. Uncle, this is what we made. I haven't served it in my restaurant yet. Okay, I'm planning. I'm still thinking of how I need to do it. Okay, David, I need your help. David, are you still there, David? I need your help. I need to invite this Nyonya Kueh specialist to come to my place one of these days. This Saturday, Sunday, by reservation only. They will serve Nyonya high tea. Yeah. This is the kueh talam that I made. Suibo, Prisca. This is the kueh talam that I made. Okay. During MCO time, I made this one. The kueh tayap. Yeah, the kueh tayap. You see, the Nyonya people, they love, apart from loving this, what do you call that, sourish, they also love a lot of santan lemak thing, you know. So that's why you see all the food, they either have glutinous rice in it, you know, rice, glutinous rice, then the santan, the kerisik, everything. The nasi ulam also got kerisik one inside. You just imagine. This is the kueh kosui. You know, this one not so nice. I make it a bit hard, but actually I throw it away. I cannot eat because I feel that it's a bit hard. I'm a bit disappointed with it. Yeah. So these are some of the things that I'm sharing for tonight. Okay. Okay. From a young guy who knows nothing about cooking until today. Okay. And some of the knowledge that I learned from not only my mom, also from Prisca, from Pearly, from whoever, all those experts. You know, of course, there are a lot of workers. You know, Prisca always asks me to write a book. You know, I'm so lazy. I don't know how to write. How to write? If I want to write a
Just
book,
start.
people want to support me or not?
Why not? Why not? David is
Don't know.
laughing.
Laughing. He
Yeah,
dia
this
belum
David
kenal
also
lagi.
about Nyonya dessert. It's not easy. It looks simple and it's good to eat, but when it comes to making it, where the success rate is actually not very high, yeah. Especially the first timer.
So that's why you know, one of the reason also I want to promote. I mean, why a lot of things to do as a restaurant. I can do Western food. I can hire Japanese to do Japanese, not Japanese lah, Japan trained chef to do Japanese food, Italian, Mexican, Spanish, you know, tapas. You know, I also can do chucha. You know, I can also do economy rice. Why I want to do Nyonya? Because one thing for sure that I know, this Nyonya culture is vanishing very soon. Because the younger generation, they don't know. I would say they don't know. I feel very sad. You know, sometimes I see parents bring the kids. I mean, not, I wouldn't say the young kids. Maybe the teenage kids. They come. I don't know how to eat. I only know how to eat onion omelette. I only know how to eat this and that. You know, when you talk about intestine, like tutor, I mean the intestine. You know, stuff inside the perut ikan. Don't know how to eat. Yeah, so geli. I don't know how to eat. I don't know. So I feel it's a bit wasted. You know, these things. I mean, in fact, I would say eat everything with moderation. Okay, if let's say good things are like, you know, oh, this one keto diet is the best, you know, and I keep on eating, having keto diets for 1 year or 2 years, I got nice body, but you do not know what is the side effect after that. You know, the side effect, you won't see it until you are at the older age. Yeah, so I mean, of course, Nyonya food, I wouldn't say that it's healthy, you know, but some of it are very. If you eat too much santan, also not so good, you know. Uh, if you eat too much of soury stuff, also not so good. If you eat too much of spicy stuff, also not so good. So everything in moderation is good. So from this guy, Johan, okay, to preserve, there must be creation of continuity. If let's say there's no continuity, I don't think there will be any. I mean, the culture will not survive anymore. It will go away very soon, very soon. I believe my generation, after my generation habis, no more already, lor. If you want to eat, those are not authentic one. So for by myself, I have a quote that the legend must live on. So I really hope for those of you, those audience, or those who are going to watch it after much later of this live show, or this try to experience it. Don't lose it. Experience it. Because there's nothing to lose anyway. You like it, you eat, you take it. If you don't like it, then you don't want to take it anyhow. So it's still okay, right? But
Yes.
the culture, everything, the colorful culture of Nyonya has to be preserved. Yeah, we are
Yeah.
talking with a few people right now. Okay, to see how we want to help to preserve this culture. Yeah.
Yeah.
So any
Same
questions?
Same as it's happened to me as well. I just feel that if my generation, I can carry on the Peranakan culture, I mean, until the end of my life, at least this Peranakan culture will survive for another next 20 to 30 years, you know. It will continue, I mean, until the day come lah. But somehow that if I stop practicing, no more cooking the Peranakan food, or stop making the kueh, or stopping all the rituals, like those like we call the pai, what do you call it, pai cho sen all these thing then this culture is just end there already. It's a full stop, it's really a full stop. That is why in 2017 I get to know that I am a Peranakan Nyonya. I come from this kind of background, because my uncle, before he passed away, he tell the story of our family, the story of our family background. So I get to know that, hey, I'm a true blue Nyonya. At first I was thinking that I'm a little bit different from other Chinese, because when I come down to KL and work, when I was 21 years old, I am quite difficult to survive in KL because I need to look for curry everywhere. So difficult to look for curry in KL, and it's not like in Penang. Penang, if you go to any mixed rice, easily you can get asam gula, you can get hangahu gula, you can have ayam, the what do you call that, the curry chicken, all these things easily. But in KL, not that easy. In KL, there is a mixed culture of Cantonese, Hakka, and also
Yeah.
the Nanese. It is not so. It's not so Hokkien people's eating habits. Then after that, I also get to know that, hey, among my friends, we all Chinese, but I need to eat spicy food almost every alternate day, at least or at least one day in a meal. I need something spicy. So they will say that, oh, you always like to eat spicy thing. Without spicy food, you cannot survive. Then they thought that I love to eat chili padi. Then they will actually give me chili padi or tapao chili padi for me. But for me, I I cannot satisfy with only the chili padi. I said that, no, what is chili padi? What I want is the rempah ratus, all the beauty of the Nyonya food. Our rempah has so many combinations. Like inside there got turmeric, got lengkuas, got serai, changmao, and then also got this kaffir lime leaf, got bawang, of course, the bawang putih, bawang merah, and then the turmeric, and also chili, of course. And then with chili also, we have two types of chili, the dry chili and the fresh red chili. And then also with some Indian herbs like the, what do you call that, the tua chek se chek, the fennel,
Yeah.
the cumin. Some people call tua chek se chek, some people call cho chek, yu chek, also can lah. And then the coriander powder, all this kind of mixture is quite hard to find in KL food. Either I go to Mama store and eat the Indian curry, or I go to Malay store and eat Malay curry. But in terms of Peranakan culture food, it's quite difficult to find, and I have to learn how to cook it myself. So ever
Okay.
since it's also because of 2017, and it's because of the interview by the ASEAN Astro AEC ASEAN Nuan Xing Shipu. Uh, at that time, he asked me to cook perut ikan also, like you, Aiden. Then I
Mm.
get to know, hey, this beautiful culture need to pass on, need to need to be embraced, and then need to be carry on to the next generation as well. That is why I encourage a lot of people like Aiden, like David, write a recipe or do something about it, because one day when we were gone, 100 years later, none of us survive here. So but at least there are some references, there are some books that somebody can look on, and then some details, or they can some story that they can look on, and then they start to study and they research about it, and then they get the idea why this Peranakan food survive, and then why it exists, and then why there are so many details about it. So there are so many beautiful things, and we know how details and how many preparations job behind the scene we need to do before we get to our, like for example, acar awa. You know, acar awa is just a dish, but you look inside there, just only what you can see is already like more than 8 or 10. But what you cannot
Mm.
see, which is the spices inside there, another set of 10. So a total recipe inside acar awa is like 20 or at least 23. So sophisticated. Every day we are eating this kind of food. Our food is always have different kind of taste. We have the taste of like sour. We have the taste of sweetness. We have the taste of salty. We also have spicy and pungent, and also bitterness. The bitterness is actually from most of the spices, especially the dry one. So it's sophisticated. A lot of people think like it's like Chong Hao Mei. Chong Hao Mei is like very very intense, but for me, I feel that it's more than intense. It's many layered of taste. After you taste this one, you get to taste another level of taste, and then you bring your taste bud to another level of satisfaction. And when you have that, you feel your life is quite rich in a way that you have to your taste bud has the experience of so many tastes in your mouth. That's the beauty of it. Of course, the
That's what
background work. Yeah, the
that's what
background
you
work.
call, yeah, that's what you call the layer of sophistication. Yeah.
Yes, and
Yeah.
it's
Just like
beautiful.
life,
Of course.
just like our life lah, different layers of sophistication at a different age, right? When you are in your teenage years, you're like that. When you are in your 20s, you're like that. One thing I also noticed, I'm not sure all of you reckon or not. Um, as we age, right, our taste bud change. Last time I don't eat a lot of things as well.
Yeah.
I don't eat coriander. I don't eat the what do you call that? Leek. I don't take this one chang, what do you call that? Scallion. Okay.
Mm,
I don't take a lot of things because I find it smelly. Okay. But as I age, right, I tend to love all this, you know.
mm,
Yeah, so I think like what Prisca mentioned, right? You know, not I would not only Nonya food, I would say the Malay food, okay, the Indian food, okay, they are also full of spices and herbs. They have different layers, different I was like what you said, different layers of flavors when you eat them, you know.
yep.
Yeah. In
And
fact,
and for
The Mediterranean food also like that one. You'll be so
oh, not
surprised.
I have not tried that food yet. But for me, I feel that the heritage needs to be carried on. Like the Hakka people, or the Cantonese people, or what kind of dialect you are. You have your own culture. You have your own home cooked food, which your grandmother cook or your mother cook. I feel that it needs to bring down to the next generation, so that we get to eat it, even though it may not be exactly the same, but it is about the taste of the time, the heritage, it have to be passed down, so that I feel that every house will have, some house may have more, some may have less, but it needs to be passed down so that the next generation, they get to taste how it is, and then like how they get this type, how this type like choku, let's say lah, how we can eat the yam, the stalk. Normally people eat yam, will just eat the yam only, which is the root, but not the stalk. The stalk is actually, we use it to make the kueh, the ang ku kueh become the choku, Then why we derive to this thing, like where we get this type of ingredient, is also because of geography, like because of this type of weather, this kind of rain, this kind of sunshine, this kind of plant grow in this kind of soil. So it is because of the background of the geography and the history, why the people, which is our ancestor, they have the knowledge of using these ingredients and blend into the food and make it so delicious and so unique that
True.
you can't find anywhere. You can only find in your home and your kitchen. And this is something so precious for me when I come to that age, when I come to about 42, 43, I get to know that this thing is precious, and every household have their own recipe, their own ingredients, where it may not be found in my kitchen, or in Aiden kitchen. I know that Aiden kitchen is sophisticated. Like us cooking Nyonya food, we have to go to 3 types of market. Have to go to Chinese market to buy pork. We have to go to Malay market to buy ulam. Then we have to go to Indian market to buy spices. Right, Aiden?
True. Yeah.
Yeah, or
So
else our kitchen won't be.
It's not complete. It's not complete. I go to a lot of different vendors, different market.
Yes. So I just feel that this thing need to be passed down. And for me, when I was young, I love to cook, but I don't have chance to cook because my grandmother is the cook. So she occupied the whole kitchen. Okay. And my mother also know how to cook very well because she actually operate a chapan, a mixed rice, a economy rice store in Penang. Then we all know lah, if Penang food not nice, very fast you chop up already one ma. But my mother can survive for about 4 years. So which is her food is very fresh and very good also. So my mother know how to cook. And my mother sides, my grandmother, which is my paternal grandmother know how to cook. My mother's side's grandmother, which is my guama, also know how to cook and make kueh. So all of them know how to cook, but me, they don't allow me to cook. They ask me to go study. All these things you don't learn because they are all very difficult, very details. You spend too much time already, and all these things, 吃力不讨好. They always ask me to like go off, don't work on this kind of environment. Ask me to go and sit in the office, you have aircon, you wear like pasang kuat, but don't come into this messy, oily kitchen and mess yourself up, But for me, I always go and curi tengok, especially my grandmother, the Nyonya grandmother, So when she blend the rempah, all these things, I'll go and curi tengok. And then of course, she also know that I'm watching her. So she will teach me lah. She will say that, now have tua chek, have say chek, huan chukua, tampo, balachen, have ane kau, have kalu chu chai, ane tua te, mai have koi tau che kiam, lako chao cho. All these things she will tell me lah. Then I will slowly masuk lah, because I actually stay with this Nyonya grandmother when I was 7, and then she passed away when I was 14. I have 7 years staying with her. So all this information, every time when she cooks, she tell me a little here, a little bit there, and then also the traditional stories. So I get to pick up here and there. So now when I grow like I'm moving into my 50 years old, I started to recall, it is such a beautiful thing for me to recall that my childhood is having so much richness and enrichment from my grandmother's kitchen, especially the smell. Every time I go back from my primary school, when I smell just outside only, not even enter the house, I already know what she is cooking. Can you imagine? I know that, that day, wow, I got tau yuba already. That day, I got asam gulai already. Ayo, that kind of sensation before you enter the house. your taste bud already getting my taste bud already getting my stomach ready for my grandmother food, and I can smell it. I can still remember it until today. Like so good. It's like calling me home, you know.
Very, very nostalgic, very nostalgic. Yeah.
Yeah, so all these are beautiful things that I feel that is a precious thing to pass down to the next generation. So,
Yeah.
when I tumis rumpa at the back, my children get to smell it, and then they know that what is the food that coming to the table soon. Yeah, that is also why even though I fail my rempa very a lot of time, you know, how I tumis, I open the fire big, then after that all chao hui da, you know, then I had to learn the process of how to control the fire, then how much oil I need to add on so that it doesn't chao hui da, all these things lah. Then I feel that there is a lot of learning. There's also a lot of challenges in the very beginning where we mess up all the ingredients and put too much of fennel or put too much of cumin, and then it turned out to be a very funny kind of curry, you know. Yeah, but uh, we learn by mistake. Like I say, I learn by my mistake because I have nobody to learn for already. My grandmother passed on, you know, 30 over years ago. So I don't have much people to learn from. So I got to ask everywhere, I don't know how to cook, or I'll have to go and ask, David, how you make your kuih talam, all these things. So I have to go and ask my neighbor or my mom's friends, or sometimes my mom also cannot remember all these things. My mom actually don't like to cook Nyonya food, too details. Then I have to ask people who know to cook Nyonya food to teach me how to cook. I have to go and look everywhere, and some recipe books do help me, but somehow not details enough to give me the tip. So when I make mistake, I don't know how to correct it. Yeah, but somehow practice make perfect lah. Huh? I could say this way. As I cook and I cook along and make a lot of mistakes, a few mistakes. I get to know, oh, this time this thing too much, that one too less, or what. Then I get to adjust, and then slowly you get to the perfection after 4 years lah.
Make, practice makes perfect. You know, I also do a lot of mistake. You know, but no choice lah. You know, one mistake. If chow hui ta, then you know baka already, then cannot use, and how? You know, like when you tumis your curry, you know, your gulai, you know, the fire, how you control the fire, you know, what type of things to put in, you know, how much
Yes.
oil, you know, all this stuff very, 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 very particular. You put too much oil also cannot. Then you put santan one, when you need to put in santan so that the minyak tak pecah, you know, the santan minyak tak pecah, you know.
Yes.
So when you tumis your gulai, right, you have to make sure that, you know, the minyak has to be pecah. If no pecah, then the smell won't come out. Yeah. Then you cannot preserve it. So a lot of things. I mean, not. I believe my mom also don't really remember all. I would say, you know. But of course, the major one, the core one, I think the elders they will master it. So that's why they
Yeah.
pass it down to us. Yeah. So it's always good. You know, it's always good lah. I would say, I tried to cook Malay food before. I tried to cook lontong. You know, I know how to cook lontong also. You know, it tastes very nice. I love lontong. You know, lontong eat together with rendang. I tell you, superb. I tell you, I'm not sure whether I have any Malay friends in the audience or not. If I have, I believe they can agree with me. In KL, I think in SS13, there is this market, right? This Malay lady, she is selling lontong kering. I tell you, whenever I go KL, I sure want to go. Ayo, sedap until now I so feel hungry already.
Wow. So at 11, we feel hungry, charm lor, nothing to eat lor now. So well, but anyway, I feel that this Borak Borak Baba Nyonya platform is actually a growth for me also because I learned from so many people like Pearly, like David, like Aiden, you know, and then also Kenny, and then Ellen. So many things that are from different backgrounds,
Yeah.
you know. Especially the
Yes.
food also, yeah, Pearly has actually tell such a distinct in different kind of food, you know, how they derive into kiam chai boy, you know, all these things, not chin chai
Mm.
lo lai one. That is the reason why chai boy are, you know, derive, you know. There are
Mm.
some beauty there.
beauty in it, lah. Correct. So that's why
Yeah.
this is the last episode that we have. So uh, we hope that in the next season we can do something more than talking. I think we need to
Yes.
have some really like cooking show, kuih making show or whatever lah. Or you come and Borak in my shop, I go KL and Borak in your house. We cook. We put online, people can see. So
Yes.
I think it will be very interesting. Yeah, and I
Yes.
hope, I hope the audience, not the current, not the audience now, and also the after this live, I mean, there are some other audience will watch it, right? I hope they will bring their kids, they explain to the kids, you know, this culture, not only Nonya culture that we need to preserve, all sorts of culture. Your own culture has to be preserved. Yeah, it's very important. Yeah, true.
I think
So
it's all I want to share. So today is a little bit late. So I think a lot of people has had to prepare themselves to the bed because they have to go to work tomorrow as well as still weekdays.
yeah, I have to go to work also tomorrow.
Yeah. And thank you so much for hosting me.
And thank you for all your support, my dear audience. My dear
Yes.
lovely audience. Thank you very much for the last 8 episodes that you always come in. Auntie Judy, Cheryl, you all are very very supportive. David, you know. So thanks, Prisca, uh, for helping me to host this as well. Okay, and of course, I'll do all our special guests, um, Pearly, Ellen, Kenny, David. Did I miss out anyone? No more. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation to share your expertise in Nonya food, Nonya culture, Nonya architecture, Nonya culture. You know, it's lovely. Maybe one day I should work with Kenny, and because his place, I think David been to his place also the other day. David, you came, right? So his place is actually a very nice place. We can actually have a live show or maybe a cooking class up there. Yeah, that would be so fun, right? Yeah. Yeah, Paige, hope not to wait so long for next episode. Um, I hope not too long, because currently we are already open for dine-in, so my schedule is a little bit tight. Okay, but of course we will try something else. We will see how it goes. I hope Prisca can come to Penang also lah.
Yeah.
Prisca.
Yes. We'll arrange a trip back. Yep.
Yeah, arrange a trip back, and then we should go and see like Kenny and David arrange a trip here, and we also invite Ellen. Ellen also know how to cook. What?
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, Ellen also know how to cook. What?
Yeah.
Pearly, Kenny also know how to cook.
Yes.
Yeah, so again, thank you everyone. Good night, and we will share out the next season. Hopefully not too long from now. Yeah. So thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
good night.
Good night. Bye
Good
bye.
night. Bye.